This is SIP's 14-inch professional woodcutting bandsaw. The 14-inch refers to the actual throat that we've got here, which is 355mm in metric money. So we've got a good throat here. The depth of cut will actually take up to 235mm, and that's easily adjustable using the hand wheel on the side here, so we can bring our ball bearing guides into the correct position where we want them. Obviously you want them as low as possible to the workpiece we're actually cutting. The doors on it are all interlocked. Tables, nicely ground cast tables. The fence, fine, or again, easily locks in place, but also has the fine adjustment facility on it, making it easy to get exactly the position we're actually looking for. Powered by a 2 horsepower motor, and with a 2-year guarantee, this saw should last you for ages and do everything that you actually ask of it. It'll take up to a 1-inch blade, which we've got on here, which is ideal for resawing, or right down to a 1/4-inch blade for doing the finer, smaller curves and cuts that you'll find that you want to do in your workshop. The bottom of the machine consists of a very handy storage cupboard, which is ideal for keeping your spare blades and your service tools ready for when you need them. Also here you can see we've got the optional wheel kit fitted that enables you to move the machine around your workshop easily. The wheel kit just comprises of the wheels that are mounted to the machine and the actual hand lever with the wheels on, which make it easy just to lift and then move the machine to where you want it. Another nice feature is when you're not using the wheel kit, this handle actually comes with the mount, which mounts onto the side of the machine for easy storage. If we open the top door of the saw, you can see the cast wheels are perfect balanced, so this will give a lovely smooth sawing action in operation. Also here we've got a blade tensioning guide, which gives you the actual tension that you need on the different sizes of blades that the saw will take, from the 25mm, which is currently fitted, through to the smaller 1/4-inch or 6mm blade, and that's simply adjusted just using the hand wheel at the top of the machine, as you can see it moving there. Both the upper and lower doors are guarded by interlock switches, so there's no way that accidentally the machine can be switched on whilst the doors are open. On the back of the machine we have a few controls, this being the rise and fall for the actual blade guard. This one locks the blade guard in the position once you've got it in the right place. This lever here is the quick release tensioning lever for when you want to change a blade. And this one is what you can adjust the tracking of the wheels should you ever need to do it. We've also got a 4-inch dust extraction port for connecting to a dust extraction facility, such as the 50-litre SIP dust collector, which is ideal for this product. And also this wheel is for tensioning the drive belt, which can be changed between 2 different speeds on the machine, whether you're looking for a faster or a slower cut, depending on the material you're cutting. Underneath the cast table here we have 2 more levers. One is a locking Bristol handle which locks the table. The other one adjusts the table using a trunnion so that you can position it anywhere up to 45 degrees. Bringing it back down, there is a stop, so it stops dead at 90, and then lock it off with the lever. The advantage of a nice wide blade is it will actually give us the ability to do some quite deep rip cutting. But first of all, I'll just show you how easily it will go through this piece of sapele. Using the fence as a guide, I'm just going to feed this through. Taking the saw up to its maximum capacity, 235mm, what we'll look to do is now deep rip cut this stock through, taking a veneer or a thin section off the edge of the board here. We can bring that into position, we can bring this up Now if you are actually looking to fine tune this, again, this is where the micro adjuster comes into its own to enable us to position the fence exactly where we want it. So at the moment that's a little too narrow. If we just bring that in, we're now ready to make our cut. Now another very easy thing you can do if you want to is cut tenons on a bandsaw. We can bring the fence in, again using the micro adjuster, we can set this to any position where we want it. We'll do the actual rip cut first, so if we set this, bring it in, and I'm just going to set it to there. We can now start the saw. So having rip cut down now, we want to remove the cheeks, and that's easily done by setting the fence, using the fine height adjuster to get it to exactly the position we want, and to keep it square we can actually use the mitre slide to keep the wood true as it goes to the blade. Now to finish this, quite often where we bring two mortise and tenon joints together, it is important to actually mitre the end of the tenon, so where the two tenons meet in the wood, and that can again easily be done on the bandsaw by setting the mitre slide at 45 degrees. We can then bring this in, start the saw, and again you can see the lovely crisp mitre that the saw has just cut. If we want to do a mitre cut on the end of this, again we can do a larger cut by tilting the table, releasing the Bristol locking handle, using the ratchet to adjust the table to whatever position we actually want, locking it off, and then we can do our mitred cut. And once more, lovely clean cut that we know is at 90 degrees on that face due to using our mitre slide. So, to change a blade is a very straightforward procedure. We'll remove the mitre slide out of the way, and the next thing we need to do is remove the fence assembly. That's simply done just with some wing nuts underneath the front edge of the table. And we can slide out the whole fence. We now want to open the doors, having disconnected it from the power first, albeit the interlock switches will isolate the machine if you were to forget to do that. So with the doors open, release a little bit of tension, but we've got a quick release lever on the back which we can actually release one way or the other. That will enable us then to slide the blade away from the saw. The new bandsaw blade, when it comes, will be folded up. Be careful as you actually open it up, because being spring steel, they do want to tend to jump forward, and the last thing you want is a bandsaw blade actually hitting you in the face. So we can open that up, and the blade is now ready to put on. So to reinstate the blade, making sure the teeth are pointing downwards on the right hand side. Slide the blade through the table. The easiest thing is to hook it onto the top wheel, bring it through the guard, down the side of the casing, in here, and hook it onto the lower wheel. Now, just giving a few turns to the wheel, we want to position the blade so that the teeth are just off the front edge of the rubber tyre on the wheel. Being a skip blade, every other tooth is set in the opposite direction. If we push it too far back, it will take the set out of the blade. So with the blade on, make sure the teeth are just forward of the rubber wheels on both wheels before bringing the tension lever back. That will adjust, and then we can just fine tune the tensioning using the top wheel to suit the blade we've got. In this occasion it's a 1/2 inch, so we're setting it to approximately a 13mm setting. We can then dry run the wheels by hand just to make sure that it's running true. If minor adjustments need to be made to the bearings, undertake those, ensuring that the bearings are behind the teeth so that it doesn't take the set out of the teeth. With the smaller blade on, we're now able to cut much tighter curves, which enable us to cut bowl blanks, down to very small sizes such as this. And with the 2 speeds on the machine, you can actually set the speed by changing the belt in the lower cabinet to suit the cut. From that, you can also see the benefit of the width of the throat enabling us to do that cut.